Intro. What makes something forbidden? Is it a lock on a door? A warning sign? Or is it something deeper? A collective agreement to turn away, to not look, to simply forget. But forgetting is a funny thing. The human brain, this 3-pound universe of tangled neurons, isn't designed to simply delete information. Instead, it buries it. It pushes uncomfortable truths down, deep into the recesses of our collective subconscious. But what happens when those truths begin to surface? History isn't just dates and famous names, it's a living, breathing entity with scars, some inflicted not by accident, not by war, but by design, in the quiet of a lab, under the guise of progress. Chapter 1. For 40 years, hundreds of men were promised free care for bad blood. In reality, they were denied a cure for a disease consuming them. This was the Tuskegee syphilis study, begun in 1932 by the U.S. Public Health Service. 600 poor African-American men from Macon County, 399 with latent syphilis, 201 controls. They were promised exams, meals, burial insurance, but never the truth. Researchers sought the disease's natural course, from infection to death. Ethical violations began at once. There was no informed consent. Men were misled into believing they were treated. Painful spinal taps were described as free treatment. Even after penicillin became the cure, they were blocked from receiving it. Doctors were instructed not to administer the drug. They were kept from enlistment where treatment was mandatory. Many were condemned to suffer for data. Dozens died. Others went blind, developed heart and neurological damage. At least 40 wives infected, 19 children born with congenital syphilis. It wasn't a secret, it was published for years. Exposed in 1972 by Jean Heller, the study ended. Outrage reshaped research rules. The Belmont Report codified respect, beneficence, and justice. A brutal lesson. Knowledge without morality breeds unforgivable harm. Chapter 2. Imagine being dosed with a hallucinogen without your knowledge. Reality, warped by unseen hands to break your mind, then rebuild it. This was MK-Ultra, the CIA's illegal mind control program. Born of Cold War paranoia and brainwashing fears, they wanted their own Manchurian candidate. For 2 decades, the methods spanned the unthinkable. Hypnosis, sensory deprivation, psychological abuse, even sexual abuse. Most infamous drugs, particularly LSD. Unwitting subjects, employees, soldiers, patients, the public, were dosed without consent. They chased confessions, even mind erasure and reprogramming. Notorious operations set up CIA brothels with one-way mirrors in San Francisco and New York. Men were unknowingly given LSD, while agents watched and took notes. Cruel voyeurism, not science. In 1973, director Richard Helms ordered files destroyed. A clerical error spared some documents. Congress uncovered fragments. They revealed over 150 sub-projects and dark expenditures, and the tragedy of Frank Olson, dosed and dead days later. Chapter 3. In northeast China, a facility called Unit 731 reduced humans to logs. Prisoners were vivisected without anesthesia to study disease and trauma, a covert biochemical warfare program of the Imperial Japanese Army. Under General Shiro Ishii, they conducted monstrous experiments. Victims were mainly Chinese civilians and POWs, also Russians, Mongolians, and some allied POWs. Deliberate infection with plague, cholera, typhoid, and anthrax. Victims were dissected alive to watch organs fail, step by step. Limbs amputated, sometimes reattached to opposite sides. Stomachs removed, esophagi sewn to intestines. Pressure chambers, lethal centrifuges, and radiation, even injections with animal blood. Victims were used to test germ bombs, flamethrowers, and chemical agents. At least 3,000 died inside the compound. Field deployment followed. Plague-infested fleas and contaminated supplies dropped on cities. Biological attacks likely killed tens, perhaps hundreds of thousands. After the war, U.S. immunity deals traded justice for data sent to Fort Detrick. The story was suppressed for decades. Only in the 1980s did acknowledgement begin, a moral reckoning still underway, a factory of death, engineered in the name of science and empire. Chapter 4. Within 36 hours, a student guard locked a peer in solitary with a bucket. A mock prison in Stanford's psychology basement. The 1971 Stanford prison experiment, planned for 2 weeks, ended in 6 days. 24 men screened and randomly assigned guard or prisoner. Prisoners were arrested, booked, stripped, deloused, numbered. Guards got uniforms, shades and batons, told only to maintain order. By day 2, rebellion met with force, stripping, and deprivation. Psych tactics split prisoners. Privilege cells, punishments, sleep deprivation. Conclusion then, the situation, not personalities, drove abuse. Power transformed ordinary students into authoritarians, or broken victims. Zimbardo, playing superintendent, missed harm until Christina Maslach intervened. New recordings suggest guards were coached, undermining claims of spontaneity. Many now call it theater, not rigorous science, yet its ethical fallout endures. A warning about harm and lost objectivity. Chapter 5. Orphans were told their speech was defective, some scarred for life. 1939, University of Iowa. Wendell Johnson and Mary Tudor. Johnson believed stuttering could be learned, triggered by labeling. Children split. Praise or harsh criticism. Fluent kids told they were beginning to stutter. You have all the symptoms. You must stop yourself immediately. They became hesitant, self-conscious, withdrawn. Some developed stuttering, kept secret for decades. Exposed in 2001, survivors won damages in 2007. Now taught as a stark lesson, science never justifies harming a child. So, where does this leave us? We've peered into the abyss. It's easy to call them monsters. Too easy. They were people, driven by ambition, ideology, and chilling indifference. The line between progress and perversion is thin. These are mirrors. They force us to confront our own blind spots. Systems can turn people into data points. Remembering is our defense. Recognize the monster and stop.